Welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast. I'm Shannon.
I'm James.
I'm Jaja.
I'm Brandon.
And we're back bringing you all our thoughts on everything happening in nerd culture. We have a special guest on the show today, Brandon. This is not his first time on the podcast. If you're a longtime listener, you might have heard his previous episode with us. But welcome, Brandon, to the show again. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And as always, if you are new to the podcast, make sure that you subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your podcast app of choice. More importantly, though, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Trying to get the YouTube numbers up. If you're listening to us on audio, which a lot of you are, just go over to YouTube and hit subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. So we have a great show for you guys today. There's a lot going on. Gaming, we're going to talk about. But before we do, what are some nerdy things that you guys have been up to this week? I feel like, Brandon, you have to go first since you're honorary guest this week.
Okay. All right. So let me see. So I've been playing Ninja Gaiden 4 for the past 2 weeks. It's been really, really good. I think that the collab with Platinum Games is just it just made the perfect game for me personally. I think it is so much fun. It's so intuitive and it's just cool. It's just really, really cool. Let me see. I recently finished Hajime no Ippo, the anime. And so I'm starting to read that now.
I don't think I've heard of that. I don't think I've heard of that one. Hold on. I'm Googling it.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Older one. Yeah.
It's older. Okay.
Boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one. I've
Yep.
seen this. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's good. Very, very good.
2000. This is a throwback. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it.
Nice.
Let me see. I think that's it for all the nerdy, nerdy things that this week for me.
Nice. Cool. Jaja is also playing Ninja Gaiden. Wait, are you still playing it, Jaja, or have you given up?
Yeah, I mean, I can get into binary things next, I guess. I've been trying to jump in when I can to Ninja Gaiden and a little bit of Call of Duty. I haven't really had much time this week. I was getting really busy at my job. So, just a little bit of Ninja Gaiden, just a little bit of Call of Duty, and haven't even watched or read anything. I've been watching a lot of what's this game called that I was talking about last week? Arc Raiders. I was watching a lot of Arc Raiders content because it's pretty funny the type of content people are making to this game. It seems like it's like a content gold mine, so to speak, with the interactions that are going on in this game. And I did watch a couple showcases. The Xbox Partner Showcase came out, and the OTK Winter Game Showcase, and a lot of third-party indie games were shown. So I don't know if we're going to talk about it this week, but we can go over it later. But if we don't, I do want to highlight I think he was on a previous OTK showcase. There's a developer, 6-7 years old, black, made the game with his dad, but the kid did a lot of the planning and the artwork and the story and the gameplay, and the dad was just helping him out. It's called Pigeon's Mission, and it is out on Steam, and it looks really, really good. It's like a 2D platformer, but it looks really impressive. If I didn't know a 7-year-old kid made this game, I would still be interested in it. So I just wanted to highlight that. That's it
cool.
for my nerdy things.
Oh, yeah, this is tough.
Wow.
That's really dope, actually. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. You should at least just check out his part of that showcase because the story is really heartwarming and it's inspiring to game developers out there.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. James, what have you been doing?
Gaming, watching, and reading. So this week I watched Gachaka, of course. I actually binged and caught up in My Hero. So I'm finally up to date, even in the sub, because the dub I was watching, it was 2 episodes behind. So I was like, I got to get fully caught up. So now, absolute fire. I read through it, so I wasn't in a rush to watch it. But now that I'm watching, I'm like, oh man, why was I was hesitating to watch this. Yeah, they're a really good point in the anime right now. I was watching One Punch Man. I decided I'm just go ahead and drop that. I cannot support the sort of animation that's going on over there. I think us as viewers got to kind of vote with our viewership and let these studios know, like, all right, this is unacceptable, because that was probably some of the worst animation I've ever seen.
Ooh, so it hasn't gotten any better.
I think it's gotten worse. So I saw a TikTok, and it was an animator. He was breaking it down. He was like, there were only 9 frames in the last episode across like a 2-minute span that were like actually animated. And then he broke it down frame by frame. He was like, no, there's literally only 9 frames of animation in this,
Yikes.
2-minute timepiece. And
Yikes.
I was like, yeah, I can't get behind that. So unfortunately, I had to drop that. I am going to pick it up back reading, but anime wise, unless the studio, changes their approach to how they're doing things, I can't get with that. So
fair.
yeah, very unfortunate.
That's fair. If you give people high viewership with bad animation like that, then it's like, why would they even try anymore after that?
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't, turn into people losing their jobs. Cause I mean, they're only following, what the upper management is telling them to do.
Yeah.
So, hopefully something changes there that makes the animation quality improve, but it's a shame what they did to that show. But gaming wise, I played Control. I've been kind of playing it pretty slowly. I've been playing a couple different games at the same time. And I was looking at streams of people playing Dispatch, so I kind of want to play it myself. I don't know if you guys heard of that.
I heard Dispatch was really good. I'm actually, that's on my list. I'm gonna buy it probably soon. I've heard it. I've had friends tell me it was really good.
The only reason I didn't buy it is because I know if I buy it right now, Steam is going to have a sale next week, and then
that's what I'm waiting for.
So
that's what I'm waiting for.
I'm 100% sure it'll probably be on some sort of Steam sale, especially with Black Friday this coming week.
Yeah.
So I do plan on playing that because it looked like a lot of fun. But also I played this game. It's called Where Winds Meet. It's free to play on PC and PS5. It's an action RPG. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like a massive open world of you can do pretty much anything. It's like set in ancient China, so you can steal people's horses and stuff like that. So it's like GTA kind of in a sense.
That's cool.
You can get your own horse. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff that you can do in the game. And then since it's free to play and it's from China, there's like how they have whales in like the mobile gaming, so it's also on mobile somehow. I don't know how because I'm playing it on PC. But people are spending exorbitant amounts of money on this game. So there's a skin in the game. Well, it's like a skin bundle that costs $40,000, and people are
Stop.
People are buying this.
Wait, go back. $40,000. Are you sure?
$40,000. It's not a one-time purchase. It's like a collective sum of a whole bunch of other things. So like by the time you get the skin, you have spent about $40,000.
On what? I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's I'm about to tell you. It's so you get, of course, you get the skin, but they have mounts in there. So one of the you can get horses, you can ride on animals. One of the mounts is literally just like your legs like spinning like an old school cartoon. It's basically hilarious. But, so yeah, instead of getting on a horse, like you just spin your legs like that, and it looks like you're running fast. But the mount in this one is a boat, so you get like this huge boat, and then it initiates an in-game event for all the players on the server at that time. So everybody can come help you, build your boat. And then once you're on the boat, you start getting like XP for all the time that you spend on the boat. You can try on all the skins that the person who has it has that like they have in their inventory. So like you can try on the $40,000 skin essentially. And then they have mini games and stuff like that. But yeah, it's basically like an in-game event starts when someone makes this purchase. So it's insane.
I don't know if I'm hearing anything in there that's justifying the overall cost.
I absolutely would not spend $40,000 on anything in any video game. But I mean, the people that have it, they're doing everyone else a favor. Because yeah, it's interactive in the sense of like the community gets to enjoy your purchase too. So maybe that is making people want to buy it more because they're like, oh, I'm the one that made this party happen. So I don't know what their motives are, but
I think that even if I was like a streamer or a content creator that was making a lot of money off of streaming games, I still don't think I would spend that money on that.
Nah,
that just sounds crazy.
Wouldn't be me, but it definitely looks crazy. So I'm hoping that I'm online when someone does this, because then I'll be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor. But no, the game is fun. So for it being free to play, like the combat system is pretty good. Since it was initially made in China, like some of the dubbing is kind of bad. So like some of the voice acting isn't the best, and then like some of the like translations and even syncing up the words with how their mouths are moving don't really work all that good. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was free. So like, how much time or were they going to put into that? But I recently found out that some of the NPC dialogue is actually AI. So it's kind of like shying me away a little bit because I'm like, man, they went the AI route. But I mean, I'm still, pretty interested. It looks like a lot of fun. And then like, if you see clips of it, it'll be like, wait, what is this? And then if you want to check it out, I think it's worth checking it out for sure. But it's a lot of stuff to do in that game.
I'm still stuck on the 40. It sounds cool though. It sounds cool. I'm just still stuck on that. That's really crazy, actually. But it sounds fun. And he says free to play on PS5. Maybe that'll be my next thing because I'm looking for my next game. PS5
and PC and mobile. If anybody games on mobile, I don't know what kind of phone you need to have to run this because it looks beautiful. Like it's a beautiful looking game. So I don't know what the experience is mobile. But it's a combination of things. It's like action adventure RPG. They have some gacha type of stuff. They have mini games too. Some of the mini games are like card games and stuff like that. And then it's MMO, so there's other people online on the server with you. So it's like you can play together, co-op missions and stuff like that.
Nice.
Manga wise, Chainsaw Man and One Piece, still just reading those. I need to go ahead and get caught up on Dr. Stone. I think I'll do that this week. And then reading, I finished Catching Fire, and I also finished Mockingjay. So I have finished the trilogy.
Were you off again this week?
Nah. Well, Catching Fire, I had like 3 more chapters left of Catching Fire, and then Mockingjay, I just breezed through that because I was going to start watching them, but instead of watching it, I was like, let me just read it, and then I can just binge watch everything.
Right, so. But you finished a whole book in a week, and you've been playing. It's a lot of. That's cool. You got through it way faster than I could have gotten through it.
Yeah,
that'd be
no naps. I didn't take any naps this week. That's why.
Nice. Okay, I'll go. I haven't been doing much nerdy, honestly, guys. I'm in between games right now, so I'm kind of done with Astrobot. Not really. I said I was going to do the extra stuff, which I've tried to, but I think I'm done. I think that I feel like I'm in a good place, James, to give it back to you finally.
Gotcha.
I'll send that in the mail in like a week or so, maybe. But that was a great game. I enjoyed it. Thank you. So yeah, now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I don't know what I'm gonna play next. I think I'm just gonna play Dispatch next. I'm just gonna see what the sale price is. It wasn't expensive to begin with. I think it's only $30. So
yes,
whatever. Yeah, but I'll wait and see if there are any Black Friday sales. I had a coworker tell me how good it was, so I definitely want to try it. And I need to like dust off my Steam Deck because it's been collecting dust. So I feel like I need to play something on there. So I feel like my purchase means something. I haven't been, so I watched like, it's been a slow startup in One Piece again. Slow start. I watched like 4 episodes and then I was like, okay, but I need to get back into the swing. So I've been watching a little bit of that. Gachi Yakuza, I am waiting for I'm waiting for there to be like a batch of episodes to watch. I don't really enjoy watching it week to week, so I have not watched it the last 2 weeks. Same thing with Spy Family too. I'm trying to wait for that like a good batch of episodes to be out for me to just be able to like sit down and watch a few.
Yes, love Spy Family.
Yes,
love Spy Family. Oh my god.
Yes. Also, Brandon, are you wearing a Gurren Lagann t-shirt? Is that Gurren Lagann? Yes, it is. I saw it. Peeped it.
I wore it just for the pod.
Peeped it. I love it.
Just for the pod.
I love it. Love Gurren Lagann. It's one of my favorites. So I definitely appreciate that. I've been reading Blue Box. I've been reading that manga. It's really good. I think I've given up on Chainsaw Man just because I said on this podcast last week, I can't follow that. I can't follow heavy action shonen and manga. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. So it's hard. I'm be like, I'm done with this. I'm going to stick to my little slice of life manga so I can easily follow what's going on. I can look at the panel and be like, this is what's happening. I'm not trying to decipher what action move just happened because it's really hard to keep up with that, honestly.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man is like the paneling is very interesting because like it can be kind of difficult to like figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So I get it. I totally get it.
After I watched the movie, I was like, okay, I think I'll read this, and I tried. I really gave it, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm enjoying this as much as I want to. So back to my slice of life. It's all good. A Sign of Affection Volume 12 comes out next week. So I'm just going to get ready for that. And I'm going to go buy that as soon as it comes out. What else have I been doing? So that's all my like typical nerdy things. I've done a lot of like personal nerdy things this weekend. Like I went to go see Cat's Eye, which is my nerdy thing because I love them. They were in New York. Oh, okay. Same what, dude? Same what? What?
I love K-pop so much.
Okay. Yeah. James is a K-pop fan, sure. He said that he was going to go see them when they're in DC, so we'll see. We'll see how much of the truth that was. And also, Wicked Part 2 is out this weekend, so I saw the show on Broadway yesterday. It's my 3rd time seeing it. And then I'm going to go see the movie today. So those are all my
They have a Wicked
nerdy
Part
things.
2 Broadway show? There's a play?
No, like the Wicked, like the play.
Okay.
It's just the whole play. Like Wicked is the play. But Part 2 of the movie is out this weekend.
I would have had to come to New York to see Wicked 2 on Broadway because Wicked 1 was amazing.
No. Yeah, it's all the play. Mm-hmm. But Part 2 they split the movie up into 2 parts, so Part 2's out. But yeah, those were all of my nerdy things. Aside from like following all the gaming, the nominations and all the stuff that came out this last week, which we're going to talk about we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it. There's a lot going on this week.
Yeah, so we're going in depth about awards in gaming and the broader question of, do we really need gaming awards? So I have a couple thoughts here. Well, let's start off with a fun fact here for you guys. All right, so the DICE Awards, if you guys are familiar, well, we've covered the DICE Awards before.
Mhm.
I don't know if people like pay attention and lock into like when they announce things, but it started off in 1998, but it's considered the Oscars of gaming because developers, in fact, are the ones who are voting on it. So that's the jury is of game developers. So they consider this the Oscars of gaming. But who won the first ever DICE Awards in 1998? Here's your options here. Final Fantasy VII, GoldenEye 007, Super Mario 64.
Who wants to go first? Take your guess.
Okay,
So I actually looked this up.
I actually looked it up too. I looked it up.
if I would
Oh,
have
you got, so you guys
I
just
tried to
cheated.
be prepared. I
If you
tried to
didn't
be
want us to look it
prepared.
up, you should have just asked and not put it in here.
I probably should, yeah.
I'm gonna guess. What was the answer? Because I guessed Super Mario.
Well, the answer was GoldenEye.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not what I thought it was gonna be. I was surprised actually when I looked it up and saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly thought it would have been Super Mario as well. But
Yeah.
like for like 1998, that seems like a very stacked roster of like these games have, staying power. Like I want to say besides Star Fox 64, they all have games that are coming out or have come out within the last 2 years. So that just goes to show you that, DICE, they kind of got it right with their nominees.
For GoldenEye 007, I remember when that game was out, I played a lot of that on the Nintendo 64, and it was like kind of like a groundbreaking first-person shooter, 4-player split screen death matches. Like we had a ton of fun with that.
Yeah,
For sure.
I could definitely see that. I never played it, but I can definitely see why it would have. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for its time,
Absolutely.
definitely groundbreaking. So let's get into the purpose and meaning of, sort of game awards here. Do you guys think winning a game award like Game of the Year changed anything for a studio or a gaming community?
I think so. I think it does.
so, too.
Yeah. Why do you think so, Brandon?
So I think that there are like individual times where that has been like a big thing. And like probably the biggest one for me is probably on The Witcher 3 back in 2015. Like they were like around, but they weren't like the juggernauts, you know what I mean, of like the industry. When Cyberpunk was like announced back in 2017, 2018, something like that, and then came out in 2020, the hype for it was unreal. But I don't think the hype for that would have been as big if The Witcher 3, wasn't as huge. Let me see. And then back in 2023, with Baldur's Gate 3, I think for the more casual audience, they didn't really hear about that game. Like I remember like people were upset that Spider-Man 2 didn't win, but Baldur's Gate 3 did, and people were like, "Oh, like I never heard, like of this game." And so, like, I think, for more, I say niche, like style games, like a Baldur's Gate 3, like an Astrobot, I think it can kind of bring it to the mainstream. But say if we're looking at like, God of War or like Red Dead, people know those games, so like I would say it's more of a case by case thing, but that's just my take.
I agree kind of. I think it's important just to bring games to the forefront, because then it's like a game could be really good, but that doesn't mean it's super popular. And I feel like, yeah, like to Brandon's point, a lot of people don't know about certain games until they're brought to the forefront of the awards. Like yeah, Baldur's Gate is a good example. I feel like there's a very niche community for that, and I think that like the fact that it swept that year, I think it just brought a lot of attention to the game that otherwise maybe wouldn't have been there, which can only be, it's only good for the studios. You know what I mean? So I think that the awards help the studios more than anything, just get more word of mouth. And then I'm almost positive that games that are nominated that people have never heard of before, I'm almost positive that it brings in extra people that probably would not have played it, but like, oh, I'm going to check this game out. You know what I mean? So I think it's important in that regard.
Yeah, I agree.
There's big takeaways for smaller studios.
I was gonna say I agree with you guys for the most part. That it does change. It gives the studios more credibility for and like when you see a game that comes out and when people do the reviews and they're like, "Oh, this was a Dice Award winner or Game of the Year award winner," it definitely like makes you pay a little bit more attention. I'm not gonna say I seek those games that from studios who have won previous awards, but when you hear this studio has won this, that, and award, it does like, you know, make me want to look into the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, with,
Yep.
with that being said,
Absolutely.
have you guys ever played a game that you normally would not have or probably weren't even paying attention to because it was nominated or because it won awards?
Absolutely.
Nope.
Wow.
Oh, I know you have, Jaja. Yeah, I haven't.
It's similar to
I
like
haven't just-
movie Oscars. Like when they nominate stuff, it's like, why was this stuff nominated? It just naturally makes me want to check it out just to see if I disagree or agree with the public.
Yeah, I just think it's a little different for me because it's easier to watch a movie where it's like then if this game is not free to play or like on like a, you know, my subscription app, then it's like, am I gonna pay $60 just to try this game out? I don't know. So
Right.
I would say no. I have not done that personally. It just depends on the game, like how accessible it is.
Okay.
I want to challenge Shannon because she just finished
Oh gosh.
Astrobot,
Okay.
and I don't think you were gonna play Astrobot before it was Game of the Year.
But that's what I'm saying, accessibility, because James lent me Astrobot. I did not buy it. So, and I probably would not have would not have bought it.
I'm just
So,
messing with you.
and James kind of he was like talking the game up so much. That's why I was like, all right, fine, sure. But I don't think I would have, if he didn't have it, I don't think that I naturally would have. I mean, maybe eventually, but I don't know if I would have. I don't know
Fair
how long it
enough.
would have taken me to actually like try it out for myself. Yeah.
I'm just messing with you, Shannon.
You know, it's all right. I'm on defense now from last week because you over here loving to throw shade.
So for me, it was Elden Ring.
Mhm.
I've never been a big Souls guy. My brother has. He's been telling me, "Hey man, play this, play that." You know, and I was like, I'm not sure. You know, like like the whole idea of, you know, like dying and running back, and I'm just like, I play games to have fun and to relax, and that just sounds stressful. But I played it, and I was like, damn, this is a good game.
Yeah.
It's a good game. I got like 400 hours like in that game. Like
Yeah.
I played through it like 6 or 7 times. Like it is phenomenal. So yeah, like I can say that's one time where I was like, yeah, I got to play this just because it's so like nominated, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point too, because like nominations and like word of mouth and like hype, they're kind of like the same thing. You know what I mean? Because I like played Elden Ring because people kept talking about how good it was, and that's how like I've gotten into most of the games that I played. Like Expedition 33, I played it because literally my friends were bullying me to play it. So it's like it's kind of the same, I guess. So
My game of the year right there. My
yes,
game of the
me
year.
too, Brandon. We're
See?
right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
see?
There's
You
no
get
other.
it.
There's no other option. But we can get into that. Yeah. The option. It's a fantastic game.
Well, you guys lead me into the next talking point here. Why is the community so invested in gaming awards? So, like, let's say, you know,
It's
community of a game. For example, Cult Expedition, Claire Obscure
Cult.
Expedition,
God,
33.
okay.
Um,
Is that shade, James? What are you trying to say about
Nah,
us?
no shade. I actually like Claire Expedition.
Oh, you said it again.
Claire Obscure, yeah. No, I do think that it's a cult at this point. I think they had some sort of brainwashing music in the orchestra arrangements, and the fans have become a cult.
The music is so good though. Oh,
yeah, but no, I did genuinely enjoy that game. But as we can see, like that's one of the bigger titles that people are pushing for to win, as well as wasn't even nominated, Arc Raiders. It's like a war going on right now of Claire Expedition 33 and Arc Raiders fans going at it heavily. So why do you guys think that communities are so invested in the game that they enjoy winning Game of the Year?
They're looking for validation.
Yeah.
Who's looking for validation? The studios or the fans?
The community, yeah.
The fans.
The community, yeah.
Yeah, the fans.
Yeah.
Like I think that people get like when they have something that they really, really love, they want others to, you know, to like feel that same like love. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling people all year, play Expedition 33. It's so good. It's amazing. You know, and so like I totally understand why people would get so defensive about it because it's just like, look, you know, like I love the game. You'll probably like it. And so when you have, you know, these these award shows, I think people are just like, they're just passionate fans, and they want people to, love the same thing that they like also. I mean, we see this in like every industry. I mean, people that, with like, pop, uh, like power scaling with like anime characters, or Marvel versus DC. It's like it's I mean, like, everywhere, honestly. Music,
Yeah, to everyone's point, I just think that when people play a really good game, they just want to see the studio be recognized for the great work that they put into it. Like, I think that that's the thing with Expedition 33, like, is a new studio, a small studio, and like they achieved a lot for this game, like in terms of like everything, the visuals, the storytelling, the music, and just like the price point that the game released at. I just feel like it made a lot of important waves in the video game industry, and I think that people just want to see the studio recognized for all of those achievements, because if it's not, then it's like, I'm not gonna say what was it all for. Obviously it's a great game, but like still they achieved a lot with the release of this game. So I just think that for this one specifically, I just think that people want to make sure that it's recognized, especially in
They
this is such
they
a
want to give them their flowers.
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I do disagree with that a little bit. Like, I wish people were that noble. I think people just want other people to like what they like. I don't think they want the studio to get recognition. They just like, oh, I like Expedition 33. If you don't like it, you wrong.
I don't think
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think there's
think
something wrong with
so.
you.
I don't
watching
think
video game content, live streams of people, like, there's people who love Expedition 33, and then there's the people who don't, are going just as hard on the hate. And I'm just like, yo, like, we can all have different opinions. Like, it don't matter. But like, people just want you to fall in line with their own opinion.
I mean, I definitely think that that's true of some games, and that might even be true of some people that like this game. I don't think that's true for the majority, though. I don't know. I'm not in everyone's head, but I really think that a bulk of it, at least, was just wanting the studio to be recognized, or I would at least hope that that was the case.
Yeah.
Not just
Like,
because,
I mean, we know that, fandom spaces do get toxic, like whether it's
oh, of course,
because of how much they like something or how much they dislike something. Like, their like for something leads to them disliking something else just because, hey, I like this thing. It's better than this other thing that you like. So now we get fan wars going.
I'm willing to bet
absolutely.
half the people don't know the name of the studio that made Expedition 33.
Or our creators.
I don't think that's true. You think so?
We can agree to disagree. This would be one of those scenarios. We can't prove it right now.
Yeah, I know.
But, like,
I mean, I hope that's not true. I don't know.
I hope not either. So do you mean the people that have played the game and love it, or the people that don't, or who have not played it and don't like the game and are hating on it?
Both.
Yeah, like I played it and it wasn't for me just because I don't like turn-based games. But I think the story was good, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch somebody else play it. I can't get behind a turn-based game, but like, I'm not gonna say this game is bad because I don't like it.
As a person,
well, I mean, I did like the game actually, but
as a person,
there was one aspect I couldn't get past.
I'm sorry, James. As a person who's trying to get more into like the paying attention to the game studios and the developers and stuff like that, I can't name half the games that I love personally. I won't be able to tell you the studio developer off the top of my head. For some of them, I feel like maybe not.
Yeah,
all of them.
I just think that this one is very specific because it's a studio that was, it's a group of people that all left a notable company and then start. I just think the story behind it is very specific, which is why I think more people know about it. Whereas like just a regular gaming studio, probably like a lot of people wouldn't know, like for a lot of these big games, like who the studio was.
It's also a little bit scary for me because when a studio gets more of the shine, they're gonna grow. And what happens when studios grow? They turn into these big bottles of mess. And so I hope they stay true to themselves. Keep it small, keep it tight, do their thing.
I mean, that is true, right? That's kind of just like the pitfall of corporate, but I think they could. It just, they just have to make the right decisions for themselves in order to like, keep a lot of the control over their decision making. It's possible to do if they just don't fall into the appeal of like big corporate buyouts and things like that. But I don't know. We'll see.
Not even just the corporate side, but the community side too. So like, as the community of something grows, like, it starts to ward people off. Like, let's say anime, for example. Like, we all know people are talking about the great shift in anime. Like, before, anime was, sort of its own, niche little subculture.
Pretty niche.
Now that anime is growing, some people hate the fact that anime is so large. Like even people
Yeah.
that like were day one anime fans are like, why is the NBA using One Piece imagery in basketball promos?
So dope, by the way.
Like, yeah,
Really
like
cool.
to some people that they're
Yeah.
like, oh, to reasonable people, that's a very dope thing to see. But to like
Yeah.
those, counterculture people that are like, oh man, what happened to my thing? We need to keep it tight. Like the people that want to gatekeep the thing that they like, hate when it grows. So then the community turns toxic and like kind of, I don't want to say implodes on itself, but the community itself becomes a place where you don't want to be a part of that community because like, I don't want to be
Yeah.
associated with this side of this community.
Absolutely.
Those people need to like do something better with their lives, honestly. Like, why are we getting so upset? Like, why are we so upset about it? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me, but
Not at
whatever.
all, yeah.
I don't get it either. I think with the something similar with the From Software fans.
hmm
And when Elden Ring really blew up, people were like, okay, you're not a real, fan if you're not going around with, like a ham sandwich naked fighting, fighting bosses, like, and you're sitting there using magic or, mimic or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's just like, bro, it's a game, man. It's a game. I'm here
Yeah.
to fun. Like, why are we
Yeah.
sitting here trying to police how people should,
Yeah.
be?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I will say the FromSoft fandom is very toxic. Like specifically them. They are so toxic, I will say.
It ended up growing so big that it turned into like,
Yeah.
all right, how do we separate the real fans from the fake
Yeah,
fans?
if you haven't
the
played every
bandwagon
Dark
fans.
Souls, if you haven't played every Dark Souls game that ever existed, then you're just not a real fan. And like if you Elden Ring was your entry into FromSoft, then you're not a real fan. It's just they're very specific toxic community. Y'all need to do better. Why does it matter? Just play the game and just be. Don't worry about
have
what people are
fun.
doing. Yeah. I forgot what was the question. What was the original question?
Why the communities are so invested in the gaming awards? Yeah.
Yeah. But I think some people yeah. So I think it's like half toxicity and gatekeeping, and half people just wanting to see their games do well, succeed, flourish. That should be the end goal for everyone, really. But
yeah, I think that's completely fair. Let's talk. All right, who should the awards go to? So should it be the most innovative game, the most polished game, or the most fun game, which is completely subjective?
So before we really get into that, can I ask another question? Do you guys prefer awards where it's like the DICE Awards where it's like developers voting, or do you prefer fan voting? Like Game Awards is fan voting, right? So it's like which formula is better? Or like
I think
what do you guys think?
I high key prefer the experts. I
Yeah,
will
me
really
too.
a mixture. So when there's experts and their votes count a percentage, and then the fan voting counts a percentage, because fan voting can be 100% rigged. You can make bots and all kind of stuff to just, or you have your favorite streamer that like some of the arc rater streamers are like, hey, we can't let Expedition 33 win. So you're mobilizing your fan base to vote against it just for the sake of voting against it. So I think a mixture of the two can kind of off balance some of the biases. So like judges may end up even have biases, which nobody may know about. But then of course fandom can be completely rigged if it's just fan voting.
Yep. It's all a popularity. Fan voting is a little sketchy. It's all a popularity contest. I feel like if you have a good mix, if you have fan voting, but then you also still have like a panel of experts that kind of make the final call, I feel like that's like the best of both worlds. Because yeah, it's true. Like people will just jump on a bandwagon and vote 1,000 times for something just because they want it to win, not because that game particularly deserved it over another game. So I much rather prefer like professional like panel of people voting for sure. 100%.
Same.
Yeah.
Like I do think that when you start getting, the fans, like it does become, like a popularity contest. And so it might not be the best game, but it's like, the most popular game. And you run into like issues with that because just, like people might not have played, certain games. And so, say, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2, might have won in 2023 if, like if that's how they did it when, Baldur's Gate 3 was probably the better game.
Yeah. So the Game Awards, even because like the Game Awards is kind of like the main one, right? It's like the main
It's probably the most popular
show
one,
of the gaming award season. So should an award show that's all based on fan voting be like the main, like the focal point of like the gaming award season? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it should really be, because like I don't think in that instance games that really deserve like the recognition. Like not all that, like all like there's not a lot of instances where like it might not necessarily be the case, like because it's fan voting and like the wrong games might get highlighted sometimes. So I like something like the Dice Awards, I feel like should be more centered because of the way that the voting and the decision making is done, rather than something that's all about just like fan
I think the
voting.
prestige with the Dice Awards is it kind of makes more sense because it's like, okay, these are people that are, in the industry voting on these things versus, Game Awards. But those, since I think because it is fan based, that's why it's the most popular, because, people want to see, all right, I put in the work to vote for the things that I voted for. And now I want to see if they win. But then also attached with the Game Awards, they do a lot of reveals of like trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I seen something that said about 80% of the Game Awards is just trailers for
Trailers.
So of course people are going to tune in because like, all right, what games are coming out? And then on the side is like, okay, now we're going to crown the winners too. So, but
That's true.
a lot of it is, upcoming games.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point too.
Yeah, absolutely.
This question's a hard one for me, and I do agree with you. The Game Awards, people are looking for the trailers for the new games, but I feel like developers and people have their own biases, and yes, a mix of both, and a scaling maybe more on the developer side. I don't know, because I feel like developers have just as much biases as fans, and depending on who you work for, who you plan to work for, or have the people that are voting, have they played every game nominated? Like, how do you compare? Like, people are just gonna vote for their favorite game, the one that they had access to, that they like the most. It might not be. I don't know how to make this a fair thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true too.
Which does circle back to the previous question. How do you award who is game of the year? Is it the most polished game, like the most technically sound game? Is it the most innovative, like they did something for the industry that like, GoldenEye did? Like, this clearly has just changed the industry. Or is it just the game that people just had the most fun on? Like, what should be considered the game of the year?
It's hard to say, right? Because like I truly don't know, like, the answer to that question. And like we've kind of seen Game of the Award, like the diversity of like the game of the year, like go in different directions over the last couple of years, especially when Astrobot won Game of the Year, because like I think that it's something like a lot of gamers were upset about, because I feel like that's not a traditional game that would have normally won Game of the Year. It's very like family based, like a fun, like silly platformer that I don't think that a lot of people, were expecting to win. Especially, I don't remember who the other nominees were that year.
I believe it was Black Myth Wukong, I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
Oof, I can't think of the others though.
But like I know that a lot of like Black Myth Wukong fans were probably like, why did Astrobot win? Like, just because of the type of game that Astrobot is. So that's why that question's kind of hard, because Astrobot was a great game, but it's a very like fun to play, like not really like super serious game compared to like some of the other nominees. So I don't know. I don't know how that is even determined, or like how it should be. You know what I mean?
So I was one of those Black Myth Wukong fans. I was like, wait, how did this game win? Because Astrobot was not on my radar at all. But I played Black Myth Wukong and I had a lot of fun. But I mean, it goes to show like sometimes people haven't even played all the games available. But like after having played Astrobot now and Black Myth Wukong, I think I would have changed my vote to Astrobot, because Astrobot was just simply that fun. Like, not that Black Myth Wukong was not fun. That's still, one of my favorite games that came out that year. But like the amount of fun I was having with Astrobot, it wasn't just fun. It took me back to a time of like, this is why I started liking gaming in the first place, kind of thing. So it took me back to a whole different time.
Simpler time. Yeah.
Don't get mad at me for saying this, but I kind of wish Astrobot did not win last year, just so that Donkey Kong has a better chance this year. Because I feel like Donkey Kong's getting no light, and that's like one of the most innovative like games I've seen come out. Infinite replayability, like that game is insane, and it's better than that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you think because a game like Astrobot won last year, a game like Donkey Kong doesn't have a chance because it's too similar?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
That's
an interesting point.
See, I mean, because you got to come from the lens of, all right, do we want to push the medium of gaming forward, or do we want to celebrate somebody for accomplishing something at a high level? So like, let's say Jaja saying with Donkey Kong, like, is that, pushing the game forward, or are they celebrating Elden Ring accomplishing what they did at such a high level? Like, how do you compare the two of those when they're two very clearly different games? But
wait, sorry, you said Elden Ring. Did you mean Expedition 33?
I mean Expedition 33. My bad, my fault, cult members.
Like, I wouldn't be mad at Expedition 33 sweeping everything, But I just feel like the gameplay in Donkey Kong, like we are so unique. Like Expedition 33, we've seen RPGs before. Expedition 33 is an amazing, fantastic RPG that's bringing it back. But the platforming in Donkey Kong, we've literally never seen anything like this, where you can literally you can just plow through everything, dig through the map, punch through walls. Like there's so much to do in Donkey Kong. It's almost overwhelming when you play the game and like the buttons that they do everything something different, and there's just so much variety that you can do with Donkey Kong. Like I just think that game is being shunned a little bit.
I mean, I don't think it's being shunned. It's nominated. Isn't it nominated? It's up there.
It is
I don't hear
nominated.
no one
Nominated,
talking about it though.
I feel like Donkey Kong. I feel like people are talking about Donkey Kong a fair amount. And to be fair, like to the credit of the Donkey Kong people, when the Donkey Kong fans do speak up and are like, "This game should win," they do get attacked a lot by the Expedition 33 fans. And I wish we don't need to attack each other, guys. Like
Yes,
both
like, we
games
all
can be good.
appreciate it. Right. Do you think that because it is on the Switch 2, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe every other game is like like PC or like
Multi-platform.
PlayStation, the fan base is a bit more like limited?
Absolutely,
That
Yep.
it's affecting the conversation around it?
I think so.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree. Definitely, it's less accessible to the masses because not. I mean, a good chunk of people have Switch consoles, but like not. I don't think they're in the majority of like the others that are playing all these other games that are nominated. So who
I got a question
knows?
for you, Shannon.
Mhm.
Do you think Final
Okay.
Fantasy VII Rebirth should have won over Astrobot last year? Because it was not
No.
nominated.
No.
Rebirth was so good.
Rebirth was
Rebirth is
good,
a
but it
hit.
had a lot of flaws. It was not a perfect game at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What okay, so what would you say were flaws in it?
I think that the flaw. So when you're looking at the first part versus the second part, I would say that like in the second one, there was really just like a huge influx of like side things and like mini games and like things. I think it was overkill a little bit for the game, honestly. I think that for part 3, they need to come back a little bit and find a good balance between the first one and the second one. I do think the mini games were kind of overkill in that game. There were way too many. Way too many. So I think that was the main flaw. I don't know. James, what do you think? Because you also played Rebirth.
Yeah, I the mini games took me out of it sometimes. It was like I
Yeah.
was, locked in, trying to get something done, and then now I'm riding a dolphin, and I'm like, what's happening right now? Yeah, no, literally, you guys, you played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's true.
I mean, that's true. That's definitely true. I think for me, like I didn't mind like the mini games so much because I felt like everything else like was done at such a high level, and I was
Mhm.
so invested with like the story and the characters and the gameplay. So for me, it wasn't like that bad. It was probably it might have been my game of the year last year, honestly.
Interesting. Okay.
That game is really, really good to me. Like an easy
Mm.
9, maybe 10, maybe 10.
Yeah. I just think that like I agree. So when it comes to the story, like narrative wise, great. I just think like overall the gameplay, because like James said, the mini games were kind of too much ingrained into
Yeah, they
the
force
fabric,
you to do it.
into the fabric
If
of
it was
the
a little
main
bit more
story.
optional, and I could seek
Yeah.
these things out versus to progress the game, I have to ride a
Yeah.
dolphin now. I think, if you make it optional, then it would have been
Yeah.
it would have
Just
served
like
its purpose better.
the side quests in
That's
the
valid.
first Final Fantasy, completely optional. Like there weren't that many, but like completely optional. You could not do them if you wanted, and it didn't affect anything. So I feel like they need to, for part 3, they need to find a good balance between the two. There were a lot of things that I liked that they did in Rebirth. Like I liked that it was more of an open world than
Yeah.
the first one was more linear.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just think they need to like, if they're gonna make it mini game heavy and like side quest heavy, I just think that they need to find a way to make it not like, oh, you have to do this. You know what I mean? Because there's so much of it. It was a little bit like, ugh. But I still enjoyed the game a lot. That was just like my one complaint. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for that reason,
valid.
like, I don't really think
Valid.
I wasn't really too upset that it didn't win Game of the Year. There were probably other categories that it was nominated for that I was probably more upset that it didn't win. But Game of the Year, I feel like I wasn't too upset about it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Back on the topic of Game of the Year, and this year's awards specifically. So for indie games, they had a huge year. 3 of the Game of the Year nominees are indie games this year.
Great
You
year
guys
for
think
indie
that
games.
is helping or hurting the industry as a whole?
It can only help.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm about to say, like it depends on on if it's helping the developers or the community. I think the community, it's helping, because if I can pay $50 or $30 or $20 and go play, Hades 2 or, Silk Song, I'm gonna choose that over a $70,
Yep.
game. You know what I mean? And so, like I think it's going to, force them to be like, okay, we need to like really, really lock in and, focus on doing a good game, and not just, just kind of doing, the same old, stuff, but just at like a high level or polished level,
Yep. I think it's important because it brings a lot of conversations to the forefront. If Expedition 33 never came out, or like let's say Hades and Silksong, those things kind of didn't exist, I feel like we'd be kind of trapped in an endless cycle of like, okay guys, like we're just paying $70 for these games now. Like this is what a game is supposed to cost. You know what I mean? I feel like I feel like these indie games kind of bring a lot of important conversations, because it's like you see a game like Expedition 33, so brilliantly done. Like visually, it looks amazing. Like I feel like when people think of indie games, they think of like games that are not as high quality.
Mm-hmm. 2D
And like
platformers, or
and like I feel like
yeah.
these three games, which are games that were like widely received, super popular among their fan bases, I feel like that kind of like changes the narrative a little bit behind indie games, especially Expedition 33. Sorry, I'm harping on Expedition 33.
Cold.
Okay. It's not a cult. It's well deserved.
Well deserved, my friend. Well deserved.
I feel like definitely defied the expectations of what an indie game is. And for a game like that was like stunning to look at, gameplay was great, story was great, music was great, for that game to have come out at a price point of $30, I feel like was kind of like definitely unheard of. And knowing now that like you can get a game of that quality for that price, and it sold so well, it did so well in sales, I feel like that's a conversation that, that probably needed to happen. So I feel like it definitely helps it probably hurts the rest of the video game industry, like all these AAA game studios. It probably hurts them for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like it only helps the community.
I got a good take here that I think people may not be seeing from the developer side. So as someone that, works in software development, software engineering, I think this hurts the larger studios, because you'll have a CEO or CTO or CFO somewhere saying, hey, look at what this studio did with this many people. We can fire a lot of people now and put the pressure on the remaining people to put out this level of quality. So I think for people that are working in the game industry, I don't want to say indie games are kind of hurting them, but it's hurting what AAA studios view as who can do what with, what sort of headcount. So like, I think Team Cherry or someone is like 33 or so people. So they're like, okay, we can slash budgets left and right and still expect a quality product.
Why do you see that as a bad thing for AAA gaming?
As a bad thing for like the people working in AAA gaming, because someone who is, far removed from the actual development of the game, they're going to look and say, okay, this studio, they have, 40 employees and they just put out this banger of a game. We can do the same thing. So then they're going to fire scores of people and say, okay, the remaining 40 people, hey, this studio did it. We expect that from you too now.
Yeah, it's bad for the actual, like, it might be better for the company to realize that they can cut out a lot of bloat, but then it just gets down to like, it's bad for the individual to the employees. It's bad for them.
So I get that it's bad for the employee that's in a big company to get fired, but I think it's overall better for the gaming community, the quality of video games that are going to be put out. And just the conversation around AAA versus indie gaming, I think a couple years ago was totally different from today. When someone said AAA, it meant AAA. When someone said indie, it meant some janky, weird game that no one's going to buy. And when the Xbox first came out with this indie development programs, it's been on Steam forever, but Xbox came out with it. The games that you would get on there were very low quality, but like today's day of indie games, like I hate calling them indie games. Yeah, they're third party developed, but like these games are very high quality these days. Like every 2 weeks on Steam, there's another game going viral because that's indie, and it's like less than $20. Like I could name a list of games that came out this year on Steam that went absolutely viral, sold a ton of units, made by one person, made by 5 people. Like the whole and then the AAA games, it's like I'm playing Ninja Gaiden 4 right now, and it's an amazing game, but like, is it worth $70? I don't think so.
But you see, the thing is though, with these AAA, so like if these AAA studios look at studios like Sandfall and we're like, okay, we're gonna mimic their model, we're gonna like cut half our workforce, and then we're gonna make the same quality games with less people. The problem there is that they're still gonna charge $70 for their games. So like that right there is the issue. The price, we definitely will not see the prices come down. They'll see more profit because they have then like lightened their workforce. But
Right.
we the consumer will not see any change there. Guarantee you.
I think a lot of these games that are coming out for less than $70, $60 are selling crazy, that the AAA game studios are going to have to look at that. Like, they're going to have to look at it, no matter how many employees they have.
Yeah. They should definitely look before they decide. Oh, go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
That's true. But when I think about like the most, or like the best-selling games of the year, I'd say 9 times out of 10, you're going to see 2K, you're going to see FIFA, you're going to see Madden, you're going to see COD, And so, like those games are typically like the best selling games,
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely understand what you're saying though. But I don't know.
I would say those games that you're naming, they should be out of the conversation, because people are going to buy them no matter what price they are. Like, there's people who are 2K fans, Madden fans.
I don't understand.
They're going to buy it every year. It could be $100.
I don't get it.
They're just going to.
I don't get it.
Like,
I don't get
those
it.
games are going to sell.
I really don't get it. Someone help me understand why we're buying the same game every year. It's so crazy.
They like what they
It used to
like.
be a thing, Shannon. I'm not going to lie. When it was like, when it went from Genesis to like Sega Saturn to Dreamcast, and we were transitioning into like from bits, from pixels to like 3D, it was like, oh my God, look at this sports game. Look, you can see the sweat.
That I get.
Look, you can see his jersey moving when like it was technological.
I get that
happening. But today the games aren't that. They don't make that many.
That's what I'm saying.
Year to
like
year.
The past 5 years in which we've been in a single generation of console, why are we buying the same game every year?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's very odd, very bizarre. Someone help me understand it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
That is like a grade A money scheme for the developers of that game, for sure.
I mean, I guess
Let's
there's a lot of
some of the money schemes here.
Wait, sorry. Jada, you go first, and then you go first.
I was just gonna say, maybe there's a lot of sports fans who don't have the physical capability to do, they want to be sports players, and maybe there's a lot of people.
I guess, but just keep playing 2K24. You don't have to buy 2K25 and 2K26. I don't know.
James, it's a little bit of a scam. It is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, this is related, but still, pushing the topic forward. So let's say a game like 2K, at some point, the service is going to cut off and you have to be on the newer version. So let's say, talk about live service games now. So something like a Fortnite, Overwatch. Is a single category of best live service game enough recognition for these live service games?
Yes. I don't know. How much further can we break it down? I don't know. Like, what do you think, James?
Ongoing game.
Yeah, so like, let's say a game like Marvel Rivals now. They've been putting, continuously putting content into the game. But let's say or even Overwatch, they won Game of the Year one year, but they've still been making changes along the way. Well, it's Overwatch 2 now, technically, but still, live service Overwatch. But let's say they have been making changes throughout the year and it looks completely different than what it used to look like. Are they still only, pigeonholed to best live service game, or can they kind of expand out? Like, how should nominations for a live service game go from year to year?
This is a tough one for me, because I feel like the fact that it's so similar to Overwatch, I think it would be really tough for Marvel Rivals to get Game of the Year in any category. Well, get an award in any not in any category, but just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so similar to Overwatch. Overwatch got that award because, they were the first one. They basically created that genre. Not created it. There might have been games before it, but they popularized it.
Team Fortress.
Yeah, Team Fortress is another one. But it's a very niche genre to be, and not like, I feel like it's tough. It's tough. It doesn't get a lot. Let's use a different game. A lot of love. It should be getting more love even today, I feel like.
Let's use a different game as an example. So Fortnite, still a titan in its industry, or even Fortnite and Minecraft. Like, from year to year, they're still making enough changes that people are, absolutely hooked and spending their hard-earned dollars on these games. does just best live service game, like, don't they deserve more than just one single category of best live service?
I agree.
So what does more that look like for you, James? Like, would
Like,
that
Yeah.
be like
so more
game
recognition. So let's
year or
say they're being nominated for, accessibility features. Like, okay, it was, in the game before they had accessibility features, but now we have, new accessibility features. So, blind or deaf players are having a different experience in the game now. But, they were already nominated before. Can they be nominated again? Or, sound design. Let's say they changed up their sound design. So now the sound design is, maybe they were nominated, 4 or 5 years ago. Can they now be nominated again? It's still the same game. Like, how are we going to nominate the same game again? I think there are recognitions that should be in place for some of these live service games.
Yeah, I agree, because it's ever changing. You know what I mean? It's not like you're nominating
That's a good question.
take a base game that's not take any game that's not a live service game. Like, it doesn't make sense for Elden Ring to win best whatever again after it already won. But like these games, like you said, like they're not static. They're changing and they're evolving. So I definitely feel like if there have been improvements there, I definitely feel like it makes sense for them to be renominated in categories that they have been nominated in before, because they're not the same. It's changing. It's growing. Jaja, I feel like you're about to disagree with me just from the look on your face.
A little bit. A little bit. No, I just think they should maybe have their own separate categories, especially for like changes and updates. I don't think it's fair that they going against
Okay.
games that are like not gonna make that drastic of changes throughout the years. Like Roblox when it first came out, Minecraft when it first came out, they're completely different games today. You can say the same for like No Man's Sky. Like there's a ton of live service games that have done tremendous work on their stuff. And I think they should be recognized on their own. Like, look at these games that the developers have been, busting their chops, making it better, and the quality has definitely increased. Because I mean, Roblox would just win every category every year
Yeah.
if it was in
So
one
you think
category.
you think live service games should have a specific award show, like
Or
just
maybe
highlighting
like
live service
free
games?
ones. I don't know. Yeah, I think they should be separated somehow. Because the
Yeah,
whole gaming development model over there is just completely different.
I think they could have their own separate award show. Honestly, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, there definitely are enough live service games out
Yeah.
there. Especially want to include the sports games, because I mean, sports games, love them or hate them, they are still making improvements. Marginal, that's to be determined, but they're still making improvements. But like year to year, it's like, oh, it's just 2K again, or it's just Madden again. Like at some point, something's gonna come out that does deserve its recognition. Whether it wins or not, it still deserves to be recognized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also think too, you run into the issue of taking away a spot from a game that came out that year
Yeah.
to put a game from 2-3 years ago in that spot. So, maybe having, like a separate category would be good, just for, for those games.
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure it doesn't exist yet, so we should start it. We should make a live.
The
We should make
Blerdsnerds
service
Live
awards.
Service Game Awards. You heard it here
I
first.
have
Let's
nothing to.
trademark that
I
right now.
play literally 0 live service games, so I have little to contribute to this.
Yeah.
You play Sims.
I've been
Barely,
saying we
yeah.
got to do our game awards.
What's
soon.
that?
Coming soon.
Yes, yeah, yep. We will. I feel like
And
there's a
since
market
we'll
there.
be judges, it'll be on us to acknowledge the bias. So let's get to some of the biases that come with gaming. All right, so I don't know if anyone's ever kind of paid attention to this, but horror and fighting games rarely ever win Game of the Year awards. Why do you guys think that is?
That is a good question. I was trying to think about this.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know. I feel like they're less. I feel like they have very specific audiences, but I feel like because they're less in the I feel like horror games have a very specific niche community of people that really follow and play horror games. And fighting games, I would say almost the same, for the same reason. So I just feel like because they're not so much in the spotlight all the time, I feel like which is unfair. I'm not saying that that's fair at all, but I'm just saying that that's why. I feel like that's probably why, a little bit, or something to do with it. Yeah. I don't know if anyone would agree or disagree.
I agree with you, Shannon. I think that both communities are very niche and smaller
Yeah.
relative to other genres.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't play a lot of fighting games, but the ones that I personally have, I feel like it's good fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And it might feel good to play, have solid, like sound design. But when I'm thinking of like Game of the Year, I'm thinking about, a bit more than that. Like,
Mhm.
like I want, some characters to be, like invested in a story, just something more. And I think because a fighting game is like you're just fighting usually,
Mhm.
and you're fighting, like online. I'm not
There's
quite
not much more
sure.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of ends there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
To me, it's hard. It would be hard for me to wrap my mind around a fighting game winning game of the year, which is why it has its own category. Like, usually, like, at these award shows, best fighting game has its own category. Best horror game does not have its own category, though, so I feel like that's a little bit different. But I feel like if you look at games like Silent Hill F came out this year, and Silent Hill F was I didn't play it, I watched a playthrough of it, but, like, Silent Hill F, I feel like had a good narrative, like, the visuals were amazing. I feel like that could have been a contender, honestly, for game of the year if we really wanted it to be. But I just think, yeah, I don't know. I just think the horror community is like so niche that it just kind of gets overlooked. But I think if horror games are not going to make it into game of the year, I feel like we have categories for all these different things. We have categories for best sports game and like best fighting game has its own category. There is no reason why horror games don't have like its own category,
So now
especially since they're Mhm,
so my question is, honestly, I don't know. I don't
mhm,
like I'm not too like well versed in the horror games,
mhm.
but are there enough horror games that come out
Year
each
over year.
year
Yeah,
to warrant a whole category for it? I don't
that's
know.
tr
I'm like I'm just
that's
asking.
true, like, but that might be the case because like, I don't even know let me see. I'm
I
gonna
think there
Google it.
are, and it's an easy fix too. Is like, all right, if there weren't, X amount of horror games for us to consider for nominations, we'll just leave it off that year.
Hmm.
But I think
Yeah,
it can be as simple as that. Like, hey, the only 2 horror games came out this year. There
so
aren't
really
enough
yeah,
for us to run a full nomination panel. So
yeah. It looks like a good chunk of horror games came out this year, so I feel like it's definitely a category that they could've included.
I do think as the indie space grows, horror games will grow as well because most of the horror games are being, kind
Most
of
of them are
being made
most
by
of them
these
are in that indie
independent
space.
studios. Yeah.
Yeah, like, a lot of these horror games that I see streamers streaming, they're like yeah, they're almost exclusively, like, all indie games,
Yeah,
except for, like,
I
the
do want to
yeah.
push back a little bit on you guys though on the fighting game tip. So some would argue that fighting games carried gaming on its back for quite a while, especially through the arcade
Mm,
days. Like fighting games
Hmm.
were literally carrying the gaming industry.
mhm,
And then to Brendan's
Okay,
point, where like it was like, okay, you're fighting and that's it. So the gameplay loop was very short. Overwatch has a very short gameplay loop as well, and it won Game of the Year. So
that's true.
should there be some sort
That's
of
true.
consideration for a fighting game? I think so. I think we need to see something that is, to our earlier points, pushing the genre of fighting games forward. Then that would kind of qualify it to be nominated, or even because most times they're not even nominated for Game of the Year. So I think
yeah,
if
Right.
something pushes the genre or the medium of fighting games forward, that could definitely take a spot into some of these
yeah.
nominations.
Not that
And
I care about what the fans think oh, sorry, Brandon. Hold on real quick. Not that I care about what the fans think, but I feel like I feel like the toxicity will come out in droves if a fighting game ever won Game of the Year, but
It
that's all
would
I'm
get
saying.
nasty.
oh yeah, it would be. Whew, it would be pitchforks and
Yeah,
people would
people
be
would be
upset.
mad about that. But sorry, Brandon, what were you gonna say?
But I was gonna say that I know that what's it called? NetherRealm Studios, the Mortal Kombat, they do decent, like with like the stories and the characters and the single player content. I mean, I played Injustice 2 a whole bunch when that game came out, and so I think that would be a good example of them, trying to do more for the fighting games and not just be like arcade mode tutorial, maybe tournament mode and then like online, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of fighting games have tried to push fighting games forward, like especially Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, when they tried the
Hmm.
single player like beat 'em up like Streets of Rage style thing, where you just get to beat up a whole bunch of people and do like levels like that. It's hard though. I'm okay with fighting games having their own category and doing it like that. Enough of them come out every year. It's hard to say why a couple genres like racing, like there's a lot of genres that have really good games that just don't really get that game of the year hype. It's an
Yeah.
interesting topic.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just
I
think
think
that
it's just a bias in, just awarding, because when you think of like the best of the best, like not too many people say, "Our best game of this year was this fighting game or this racing game."
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Has Forza not been in like a Game of the Year category before? I feel like it has been, or maybe I'm just making that up.
I would expect Forza Horizon
Good question.
to have been nominated Game of the Award for some year. Do I remember?
I feel like I might be just imagining that, but I probably am.
Let's look it up.
Yeah. Are we checking? Okay. Yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
let me know.
I think Horizon.
Oh, it has not. Not at the
Wait.
Game Awards.
Not at the Game Awards. Okay. I'm just making it up in my mind then.
It got
It's
Racing
been
Game of the
best sports or best racing.
Racing game. Yeah. Racing Game of the Year. Yeah. So it's always in its own specific category, but like not enough like through general Game of the Year. Okay. That makes sense.
IGN gave it Game of the Year in 2021.
IGN, I don't know. IGN's reviews and I don't know who's working there, but
And
they
that's
have a
talking
lot of
point,
weird
guys.
takes.
That's a
I don't
that's a
know.
good transition there. So do we
Okay.
think that
Ignorant
social
without
media
idea.
personalities influence awards and community perception more than traditional media critics? So let's
Yes.
say an
Yes.
IGN versus a streamer. Do you listen to
Yes.
IGN or do you listen to your, streamers you watch?
Sorry.
Or
I
YouTubers?
know we're like a form of content creators. We're not like huge content creators by any means, but content creators are kind of ruining the media space. I will say this 100% honestly. Like, people are turning to a lot of content creators for a lot of things. Like, it's kind of a death on the traditional media industry, James, to your point. Like, if you look, like, even outside of gaming, like, if you kind of look at award shows, things like that, people that like you would like typically see like traditional media outlets covering, a lot of people are hiring content creators to like be on the red carpet interviewing people. The same thing for this, like content creators' words and their opinions hold a lot of weight now, just in the overall space. And I would say, especially with this newer generation coming up that's like heavy on social media, I feel like content creators, the weight of a content creator's opinion matters right now a little bit more than a traditional media outlet, which I don't really think is a good thing, but that's just kind of where we are in the world.
And go ahead, Brandon.
I was just saying, like I definitely agree, because
Yeah.
with the IGN or GameSpot, typically like it's like a community of people like working on the game, but with a content creator, it is their opinion, like
Yeah.
it's
That's
their
true too.
feelings, and so like, I think it's a bit easier to I guess I don't put it, like swallow their like opinion and to take it into like account when you're
Yeah. I could agree. I could agree with that. Like, their opinions are not sullied by those of their industry telling them to like skew a certain way. It's true.
Mhm.
That's true too.
Yep.
That is an upside for sure.
So I do watch a lot of this content from streamers, YouTubers, IGN, and everybody. I watch everybody's stuff. And from what I can tell, IGN and all of them, they're trying to be streamers and YouTubers. Like they're
They're
transitioning
skewing more in
into
that
that.
direction.
And a lot of them, I could be wrong, but a lot of them tend to like, they basing their opinion off of their own opinion. I don't think they're like group getting an opinion on the game. Like they just whoever's doing was assigned that game and that article, they doing their own thing. And I mean, I'm not gonna say they're not getting ideas from anybody else, but it seems like they're trying to formulate their own opinion and say like this is not how IGN thinks about the game. Like I watch a lot of like gamer ranks and like
I love
they
game
pretty much
ranks.
are
Oh, yeah.
streamers and YouTubers. They're all the same thing at this
Yeah.
today. So I would say the streamers and YouTubers probably, are gonna win that fight because everybody's trying to be like them. And I even
Sure.
got streamers that I watch that the IGN people or like the employees of different companies are going into their chat and like they're just like a regular person in the chat while this quote unquote no name YouTuber is the guy that they're watching and interacting with. So it's interesting.
Yeah, there is a shift of a lot of people are trying to like go that route to appeal more to people, because like that's kind of the way that that's just the way that we're kind of going now. It's more so about like independent streamers, content creators giving their opinions, and like that's true. Like everywhere you look now, like that's kind of the way that these bigger companies are trying to appeal to audiences. So
Yeah, I think
true.
it also plays into, because so IGN or traditional media critics, that they typically have a team of writers. So like sometimes you might get a writer might get assigned that whose opinions you don't typically align with. But if it's a streamer, like okay, when I watch this streamer, we typically have the same thoughts and opinions on such and such game. But IGN, it might be one streamer 1 week talking about a racing game, but then it's like the same racing game, a whole nother writer might be talking about it, and you and that writer might not have the same thoughts and views on what you want out of a game. So you may not have the same kind of alignment. So like if they rate something 6 out of 10, and another writer gives it an 8 out of 10, that's a complete huge difference. Like
Yeah.
that's a difference of like, oh, I need to go
Yeah.
buy this versus let me wait for it to become free on whatever gaming platform app I use.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a little bit easier to see people's like biases also. Either they'll admit to it or they will, you'll see it in what they say. But if you were paying attention, you can kind of like, okay, that's their bias when it comes to the game, and try to like formulate an objective opinion. It's hard to find streamers and YouTube viewers that give you like an objective opinion about something. It's usually biased in some type of way.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Speaking of bias, do you guys think recency bias plays a factor into who wins what?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel like that's the case with everything, though. But like, I feel like more so with games. Honestly, I feel like
I disagree.
I don't know,
because I feel like Expedition 33 came out a long time ago, and for it to be going up against Arc Raiders, that's like
it didn't come out a long time ago. It came out a few months ago.
When did Expedition 33 come
dropped in
out?
like
I
April
feel
or
like
May.
there's been a ton of good games after that.
I think
That's true.
Yeah, I think April.
Yeah,
And
April.
Yeah, I think I disagree also, because I think that if it was, then I think that probably Dispatch. I think that Yote
That's
would
true.
be nominated a whole lot more.
Yeah,
But
that's
the fact
true.
that, it's been, months, and
Yeah.
like still being like nominated so heavily.
Yeah, I think
Was
it matters.
Dispatch
I think
in this marking period?
What's up?
Was Dispatch in this marking period?
I think so. I think Dispatch came out. Yeah.
It should have been.
Yeah. I think it was nominated for. I think
October
it was
27th.
best narrative. I think no, I can't remember. I think it was narrative and maybe audio design.
Yeah. I saw it in there for a couple of things. But you're right. I think I changed. So like I feel like I don't say that I'm affected by recency biases, but I think that like I feel like there's an argument to be made that like affects it a little bit. I would say like not the majority of it though. You guys are right. I can agree with that for sure.
Well, so the marking period is from like November to November, I believe. So let's say a game that drops in December. So this year, December, a game that drops, would that even get nominated for a game next year for next year's Game Awards? Do you guys think like it has to just be like
so that's
that
the
good,
thing,
right?
Yeah, it has to be that good to like carry for a whole year of other games coming out after it. Yeah. But I feel like that's something to take into account too. And I feel like it shouldn't be about awards at all when people are, release a game because you release a game. But I do feel like it might be a little bit harder for a game that comes out in December to
So
like by the
Kirby
time.
Air Riders.
Yeah.
Next year, are we going to be talking about Kirby Air Riders at all? Because look at when it's coming out versus, the rest of the games that'll end up being nominated.
Yeah.
Are they talking about Kirby Air Riders right now? I
You're
did
right.
watch the review. I watched the review on it. I watched my boy talk about it.
So I have a question for y'all. Okay. So we know that GTA 6 has been delayed to November 16th. Do you think they're going to push back like the cutoff just for that game, or is it going to be nominated in 2027?
Right, because they're gonna miss the marking period, right?
It's usually like mid-November, so they might be in it. Actually, when I looked it up for next year, it was just inside the window by like 3 or so days. So they really have no more room to play with.
Wow. Ooh,
that's so crazy. How could something that comes out 3 days before the marking period is over be nominated for anything? Like that just seems like so like I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then the people that are judging these things, they don't have as much time to sit with it.
Yeah.
And then it'll likely be the last game they play before they vote, because I mean that's I assume going to be a massive game.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to look into what kind of biases are in the voting system. Like, is it the judges, the jury? I mean, the fans. Who's going to be voting on this thing? Because I mean, if you talk about a game that came out, a month before the award actually happens, like of course that's going to be top of mind. You're like, oh yeah, I was having a lot of fun playing this game that I played 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting one. I feel like it'll probably still be counted in next year's awards, but I feel like it would be better served if they just push for 2027, just because I feel like GTA, I feel like it's still going to be, unlike Kirby Air Raiders that we were just talking about, I feel like GTA is going to have long carrying power for sure. Yeah, so I feel like it's safe for them to do that, but
Can we
who
not?
knows?
Can we just put GTA in the category of the NBA 2Ks and the Maddens and like? I'm so sick and tired of talking about GTA 6
Jaja's so tired of talking about GTA. Wait, why? Wait. Why though? Why are we putting it in the same category as
because
NBA
we
2K?
know it's gonna sell. We know it's gonna be an absolute banger. It doesn't need to win every single award there is.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I agree.
That's a good
Everyone's
question.
expecting a very, very high quality game with this game coming.
There's a
And
lot of pressure on this game.
yeah,
honestly.
it's gonna be crazy if it doesn't live up to it.
I know it is going to be actually really crazy. That's going to be the biggest disappointment that has hit the gaming industry, I think, if it does not live up to the hype.
I do think it
that you
still
were
would
going.
need its recognition though, because like these people are working hard, so like it's got to get some kind of recognition.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I thought like, okay, this might be a very, very hot take. But I thought you were going in like a very different direction. And I thought that you were like alluding to the fact that like there's not a lot of gameplay innovation when it comes to actually playing the game. It's a lot of like the shooting, the robbing, the driving the cars, but like outside of that, it doesn't. It's not doing two different things compared to say like GTA 5 or 4.
Well, that we don't know yet because it's not out yet. So
That's true.
they
I
could be pushing the medium of gaming forward tremendously. It's just we'll see it when it actually comes out.
I would
Yeah.
disagree a little bit. I think the gameplay in GTA has like changed, and yes, the basis of it is the same, but they did innovate a lot of like the way like you can have different businesses now. Like it's a lot of stuff. Like you're doing the same things, but the way you're doing it is definitely like creative. I'm not gonna say it's game breaking or super innovative, but they've made enough changes to be like, especially from G4. I mean 3 to 4. The online when it first came out was very janky and horrible. It's like it's now, and even with 4, it's a little bit. There's some improvements that could be made. People who have all the money are going to control the map pretty much. And so I mean, I think it deserves rewards and recognition. I'm just like, will the game come out already? Like, I just want to be able to hate it or love
I know.
it. But I'm speculating.
It's true. It's true. That hopefully
So-
this is the last delay. They've been dragging it out real heavy, honestly.
Or give me some
Yeah,
gameplay trailers. Like, give me something else to talk about.
give us something.
Yeah.
Right, because I mean, like the game looks amazing, but I mean, like I'm not watching the movie. I'm playing the game, so
Right.
trying to see how does things move and whatnot. So
I think this goes back to when Red Dead Redemption was up for Game of the Year, or Red Dead Redemption 2, and it ended up losing to God of War 2018. People were up in arms. They're like, Red Dead Redemption was super snubbed. But then it goes back to like, okay, who gets awarded? Is it, the most polished game, the most cinematic game? Who deserves that W?
Yeah. Well, that's why it's hard to say. It's hard to say for the Game Awards because again, it's all a popularity contest. So like, really, there's no standard. It's just like who liked the game more this year. So that's why I'm like, that's why I feel like in these instances, even though like to Jaja's earlier point, like developer voting could also be a little bit biased, but I feel like with them, like you can expect a little more weight to be placed behind games that are more deserving. But it's like it's a toss up when you have like fan voting because like it can go in anything. Like
I feel like
anything.
maybe they should do it how they do like the Grammys or some of these award shows where like they send out people, like certain people get to vote. It's not everybody. It's a mixture of fans, developers, people who technically analyzing the games, like, and then they get their certain number of votes. I know that's not like I would like to vote on this stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a better solution.
I think that to your point, maybe not. I don't think the Grammys is the best example because there have been a lot of questionable nominations and winners over the years in Grammys. Yeah, but I feel like the way that these things are decided, I feel like there's room for innovation there for sure. I don't think it should entirely be like one side, like all developers, like a good mix. Somebody's smart enough to come up with a way that like works a little bit better. Yeah, for sure.
All right. One last thing before this is too long. Is there a place for modding and the modding community when it comes to gaming awards?
That's a good question. I
Ooh.
honestly did not know the answer to this.
That's
Ooh.
scary.
See,
That's a scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just from a legal standpoint, because technically some of the modding stuff is illegal. I think for that reason alone, they may continue to leave it out. But what some of these modders are doing is incredible work. So maybe if they had their own underground modding awards kind of thing. But it's
Yeah.
like some of these modders, they become game developers. Like Will, for example, he started off as a modder and now he's a game
Yep.
developer making his own game. Like these
Yep.
modders are doing incredible things for the medium
Amazing
of gaming.
things. Yeah,
Mhm.
literally changing the fabric of a game. Some of these modders are like doing real work that changes the entire thing. I can think about like what I can speak like there's a huge modding community for The Sims, and like you would be it's like night and day playing The Sims without mods versus playing The Sims with mods. Like the modding community in The Sims are really doing crazy things. So, and it's the same like for many other games as well. So I definitely agree.
I don't know if they would want to highlight that.
No, probably not. That's what I'm saying. Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not.
Like, hey, look at these group of random developers making the game better than the people who made the game.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a smack in the face
It's
a little
crazy.
bit.
Yeah.
I do have another question. How much do you guys think that the gaming, like the numbers of people currently playing the game, should go into their award push or, whatever? Like,
I
This
don't think
player
that should
count
count
a
at all.
factor? Yeah, I don't think that should be
I
a
don't
good
think-
factor.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
Because then it's another form of being just a popularity contest. Because like the
Yeah.
most accessible game will of course have the most players. Like if it's on multi-plat versus a Nintendo game,
okay.
Mhm.
I mean they're selling well, of course, but it's still inaccessible to a large majority of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I agree.
Yep. I agree as well.
I think for me,
Um,
the biggest takeaway of gaming awards is that it should serve as a time capsule, kind of year to year of like, all right, these are the
Yes.
games that we're celebrating this year. I think
Mhm.
that is probably like the biggest takeaway because when I was looking at the
I
DICE
agree.
Awards from 1998, it was like, oh man, 1998 was a stacked year for games. Like how
Yeah.
were you going to decide who was the game of the year? Or even 2018 when God of War won, it was like, oh snap, God of War versus Red Dead Redemption 2. Like that's a crazy time capsule of looking at who was
Yeah.
up against who and what kind of games were dropping that year. I think just time capsule purposes is probably one of the big things that a gaming award show should be able to highlight.
I agree. And I think that matters more than like actually winning the award itself, just to be able to look back. I think I agree with that.
And
Yep,
Yeah.
you see the evolution of gaming over time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
the games on this year's list of nominees, I think this was a pretty stacked year, especially compared to
This was a
last.
great year.
Yeah.
This is super sad year.
It was a great year, and like another like a year that people will look back on, especially because there are, for the Game Awards at least, especially because there are 3 indie games in the category for Game of the Year. Like people will look back on that and be like, "Wow, like this was the year that like indie games that really put indie games on the map," or like this was a turning point for indie games. I feel like people will look back on this year and say that.
We're stamping it, yeah. 2025, the year the indie games broke through.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's true. All that to say, congratulations to Expedition 33 for sweeping 12 nominations for the Game of the
So
Year.
cool.
Historic. That's all I have to say.
Oh, another fun fact for you guys: the most nominated and awarded game ever is The Witcher 3.
It's
Wow.
understandable because that game is good
Wow.
even today.
Yeah, that game is fantastic.
Yeah.
Has aged well. Like
I think I just
Also coming from a smaller studio too, so
Hmm.
I might have
There's
just
something to be
started it
said.
over
You just started it over?
not too long ago. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I wanted to play
But
through it again.
2 hours and then back in the backlog. Let's go.
You got me. You got me. Hey, when Tanner shoots, it hits. It hits his mark. I'll tell you that.
crazy for someone that doesn't like shooter games.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I don't. Not at all.
I just touche.
Anything else? Any final thoughts before we kind of like wrap up for this week? Who do you guys think is gonna take Game of the Year for the Game Awards? What is your own
Good
personal
question.
opinions?
I'll go first to get my
Okay, go ahead.
controversial one out of the way.
Oh, God.
I want Donkey Kong to win, but I
Hmm.
think Expedition 33 is gonna win. If Hollow Knight wins, I'm gonna be mad. So that's it.
wow.
Why?
I think that game was overhyped.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh,
Hot take.
don't let them hear that.
Okay.
Spicy.
Okay,
not
wait,
that
wait,
much
but
different
Jaja,
than the first
elaborate.
one.
Why do you
It's
think it was overhyped?
because I don't think it does that much different than the first one to be Game of the Year.
Okay. Fair take.
So do you think that it runs into the issue with like sequels?
Yeah, and I could say this. I haven't played it, So maybe I'm like that. I feel the same way about Hades 2, maybe, but I haven't played neither of those, so maybe I shouldn't upset this. But I feel like those two games, yeah, are running off the hype of their prequel.
Of the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Unpopular opinion, but I think that is why Yotei wasn't nominated.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
because I mean, like Yotei is great, fantastic game, but I don't think it does enough different to push for like a full, like
Game of the Year thing.
right,
I think
like
I think
like
does
it's
more.
good.
I think Yotei does more different than. Let me not say anything because I didn't play these two games.
okay, I was about to say, Jada, no, you have to stop. James, though, what do you think? Do you agree?
I think it'll end up going to Clair Obscur just because it introduced people to turn-based games that probably were not even checking for turn-based games.
Me too.
So
Me-
it made a whole new fan
And
of both JRPGs and turn-based
Yeah.
games.
And it took an
took people
innovative
in.
approach to turn-based games as well, because it's not, when you think about traditional turn-based games, it's different, where it's like it's still, there's an interactive element there that makes
Yeah,
it
it's like
a
an
little bit more
active turn-based,
engaging
yeah.
than like active turn-based.
Right.
That makes it more engaging than like other turn-based games, where it's like traditionally, that's what I didn't like about turn-based games. It's like literally playing, your turn happened, now you have to wait for your turn to happen again. Like it was a different spin to it that made it, for me, more interesting.
Yeah.
And you know-
But with that being said, that's the only game on this list that I actually have played. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not really qualified to speak on this too much.
Yeah.
I do think, from what I know of these games, I do think it'll end up going to Clair Obscur.
But I was gonna say, like, did you agree with Brandon's point about Yotei not being different enough from Tsushima, and that's why it's not up there?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, that's the
All right.
game of the year for me. That's 2025. That's the favorite game. That's my best game I played all year. But I do think if someone were to say, hey, this didn't do enough comparatively to the rest of the games on the list, maybe fair point. But I still enjoyed it.
Okay. And Brandon, we already know, but go ahead, tell us what your game of the year is and why. Tell us what you loved about Expedition 33 so much.
Expedition 33, like I think the way that it handles grief in
Yes.
such a realistic way, I think was just masterfully done. And I think the ending and the choices that you can make, I think really resonated with me and really made me think, because there is no right or wrong answer. But and so like when you have such a discussion about the ending, that resonates with me.
Yeah.
I think the music is fantastic. When I am sitting at work and I'm doing notes, I'm sitting there listening to that soundtrack. It is going to be on my Spotify Wrapped as my number one most listened to, songs, album, everything.
Yep.
And the combat, like I've never been into turn-based games, but having that parry and that dodge, it makes it so much more interactive.
Yeah.
And so when you combine it, you're like build and your parry is, like perfect. Like it just comes together in such a very satisfying package that I like.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. To your point, the storytelling in Expedition 33 is unmatched. And the themes, the themes that like it really makes you think, like the fact that you really don't know, like when you start off the game versus when you get to the end of the game, it's just it just ended up in a completely different spot from where you thought you were going to end up when you first started playing it. It is really just, it is really crazy. Kudos to the people that came up with the story, because it's really unique in a way that I don't know who's going to top this storytelling. And if somebody can top it in a future game, I would be very impressed. But
I'd be there.
It's really crazy. So it'll definitely win Best Narrative for sure. And if it doesn't, then we ride at dawn. We'll be riding, because there's nothing beating it.
Cold.
Okay, but it's true though. So it's not...
Two quick things though. I'm going through some of the categories and like, what is the difference between Game of the Year and Best Game Direction? Can somebody explain that to me? And you don't have to. We can move on to my second question. They do have a live service category, and it's Best Ongoing Game. And I think that's probably going to be the toughest category to judge.
Who's in there? It's probably going to go to
Final
Fortnite.
Fantasy 9. No, this is Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah, 14.
Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. I think that's tough. I can't choose one of those.
I bet it goes to Fortnite. It's my
No Man's
prediction.
Sky has done such a complete 180. It's not even funny.
I wouldn't
Like,
be mad at No Man's Sky getting it.
Yeah. Honestly, like they are like magicians over there.
Here's a question: what is Baldur's Gate 3 doing back in here again? Well, best community support, I guess. Like that is fine, but I feel like the time has passed for Baldur's Gate 3.
Is Baldur's Gate 3
Don't let them hear you
live
saying
service?
that.
Are they?
Is it?
Are they adding stuff to
I
the
don't know.
game? I don't think so. Right? It's just community.
I don't think it's like a continual thing.
Yeah.
I think it's like DLC kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Or game patches, I should say.
Call me cult, but I think that Expedition 33 should win in every category it was nominated for.
Sounds
if that
about
makes me
right.
a cult member, then whatever, James. I take it.
But Verso or Mael.
So to this
Or
day,
Gustav.
So
Or Gustav.
or
Like which for
voice actor.
Yeah.
For performance.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
But like which one?
So that's hard, honestly. And it's kind of crazy that they pitted them against each other in the same category.
I know.
Would Mael win that one?
For best performance?
Yeah.
I would say
I might do Verso.
Yeah, I would kind of edge Gustav out a little bit, even though I love Gustav, but for me it would come down to Verso or Mael. And I still don't know which one I would choose. I think I would go Mael, honestly.
I think I would go
so.
Mael because I feel like everything she did a good job. Let's put it like that.
They both did a phenomenal job. It's going to be really hard.
So good though. Ben Starr is phenomenal. He's so good in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I that's gonna be hard. I think if it went whichever one it went to, I don't think I would say like this person deserved it more. I think they both gave all three of them gave phenomenal performances, but just because the longevity, like Verso and Mael, just like they have more longevity in the game, even though Gustav, for the little bit of time that he was in the game, he did have a huge impact. But I do think it kind of edges him out a little bit, just because the main focus of the story, when you really get into like what the story is really about, it's Verso and Mael. So I feel like it has to come down to the two of them.
And for me, it's Gustav over Verso. I like his performance over.
Ooh, okay.
You know, that's why a lot of people have never warmed up to Verso. Like there are a lot of people that didn't like Verso.
I just thought Gustav, like you were more invested in him. You start off playing as him.
Yeah, but then you kind of get over it quickly.
I was completely shocked.
I was completely shocked. I was sad. You know what? I was so shocked and sad that he died. Whenever I went back to Stonewave Cliffs, like for whatever reason, and like you kind of passed the spot where he died, I'm like, you kind of felt it a little bit. So like for me, at least when I was playing it,
I could not believe that happened. I was shocked. But I do think there's one category that they could get snubbed in.
Which one?
Best art direction. I think Ghost of Yote.
That
one.
I can see that. I
disagree.
Yote is gorgeous.
It is.
It is beautiful. It is. Beautiful game.
I feel like it'll be tough. I feel like it'll be it'll be a tough one. I do think that they're both deserving of it. So I guess we'll just see. Yeah.
You know, but I'm surprised that the Indie Circus wasn't nominated.
And wait, what? Which game?
For playing what's his name?
Is that Monoko? No.
No. Oh God, what's his name? The dad.
Oh. Yes. He gave a great performance too.
He's phenomenal. I'm like,
he was great.
Where's his nomination?
Yeah.
Shoot, he killed it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably put him over Gustav. This is me.
I would agree with you. I would agree. 100%. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I will be tuned into the Game Awards this year, more so than I have been at any other point in life ever, just because I think it's a very interesting year for games. So
definitely.
Yeah. Have you guys voted? Like actually yet?
I haven't actually.
Yeah, I have to do that. I was trying to vote when the voting started, but the website was moving super slow, so I have to try to do it this week before it closes.
Oh yeah, I just pulled it up. It's loading pretty quickly now.
Yeah, I'll be happy if Death Stranding doesn't win anything.
Oh, man, who mobilized Jaja?
Another one of those games that I'm like, what?
I kind of agree. I've never played Death Stranding, but I just don't understand the hype.
It just looks like a walking UPS simulator to me.
And people get so mad.
Yeah. They do.
People get so mad when you call it that, but literally every single clip that anyone ever posts online of gameplay of Death Stranding is literally him just walking. I'm like, if you guys want us to believe it's about anything else, post something else online. All we see is walking. Like, that's all I see. I don't see anything else. So I'm just like, okay, this is not very good marketing for the game.
No. Yeah. I just, I don't get it. I haven't tried it.
Kojima's name recognition really is carrying this game because, like, I don't really see any other reason for me to
100%.
want to play it. Yeah. So it's just
He has a cult following.
He does, and I really think that
People
is
like
why.
him.
Yeah, and that's totally fine, but it's not enough for me. Especially since last week I was like, oh, we were talking about this last week. I was like, oh, maybe I'll play Death Stranding 1 to like see what the hype is about. But then Death Stranding 1 is still $60 on the PlayStation Store, and I was very baffled by that. So I'm like, never mind.
It's on sale this week.
Yeah, Black Friday. I'll see. I'll look at if there's any good Black Friday sales. Then maybe I'll buy it, but definitely not paying $60 for it.
A lot of Sony stuff is on sale on Steam. So if I want to get my hand on Ghost of Tsushima and all this good stuff, now's the time.
Or maybe I'll just watch somebody play Ghost of Yotei. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm not Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding. I'm just going to watch somebody's playthrough of it instead of actually trying to play it myself. We'll see.
I do that too.
That's how I
'cause
got through
I don't.
Cult Obscure.
Stop calling it Cult Obscure, okay?
You know, actually, you guys tell all your cult members to like and follow the pod. How about that one? We'll
Good
do
point.
record numbers.
True. Yes. Thank you, James.
I love
sure.
Claire Obscure. Put that in there. We all do.
All right. Any other thoughts before we wrap up for this week? It's a long one for you guys this week.
Do you think he's gonna get his first award this year?
It'll get its award for most anticipated. Obviously, it's going to go to that game.
Yeah, I don't see that losing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Like the only one that I could see maybe is like Wolverine, but like not even. It's not enough. Not enough. I don't think.
Definitely not. People have been waiting for
I think
a
GTA 6 will still
decade
take
for
that.
this.
Yeah, for sure. No question about it. Oh, but I was happy to see South of Midnight nominated for Innovation and Accessibility and also Games for Impact. So it's my vote for those two because
Definitely
that was a very fun game. Yep.
I thought they'd be in art direction, truth be told, but you know.
I thought they would be in art direction, and I also thought that they would be in. Is there a soundtrack?
Yeah.
Oh, best score in music. I thought that they would be in that too, but they're not.
Likewise.
So that's just a little bit disappointing, because it did have a very good soundtrack. Whatever, I'll take what I can get. Obviously, I'm glad it was recognized for something, so I'll be voting for it in those two categories. All right. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you. Me.
No problem. Come back anytime you're feeling really passionate about something. We would love to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
But yes, thanks for joining us for another week of the pod. Just FYI, we will have no episode next week because it is Thanksgiving weekend. So there's not going to be an episode next Tuesday, but it is the week of Thanksgiving right now. So happy Thanksgiving to all of the Blerdsnerds followers. Thank you so much for all your support. As always, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram @Blerdsnerds, follow us on TikTok, Blerdsnerds_pod. Send us an email, blerdsnerds@gmail.com. If you're a creator of color in the nerd space and you're interested in coming on to talk about your work, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Great. We have a lot of audio following, but we love some support on the YouTube channel. So if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever podcast app you listen on, just go over and give our YouTube channel a quick subscribe. We would appreciate it. And as always, thank you for the support. I'm Shannon.
I'm James.
Jaja.
Brandon.
Thanks for listening, y'all. Bye.
Peace.